Hi, my friends. Welcome to Sort of Brilliant, a show where the characters are made up and the sorting absolutely does matter. My name is Rachel.
And I'm her best friend and co-host, Lauren. Every other week, we're going to invade a fandom and determine whether your favorite character belongs in Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin.
We're the Harry Potter podcast that talks way more about any other franchise.
Here, we use the sorting structure from Harry Potter as a common language without supporting the author or her beliefs. As for the sorting itself, there's bound to be some arguments along the way.
But in the end, we're always right.
According to us.
According to us.
Dun, 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 Rachel is doing castanedas with her hand. Is that how you say it?
What did you say I was
Those
doing?
symbols that you put on your fingers, are they castanedas? Is that
Are they called castanedas? I don't know.
I'm going to be...
maracas.
No, I'm going to be... They are... It's not because I don't know Spanish. It's because I don't know words. They are something like casta... I'm going to look it up.
They're clicky-clacky things.
This deserves the research team.
They're clicky-clackies, and I was making the motions with my hands as she sang. The Pirates of the Caribbean!
That's what we're doing. Castanets! Also known as clackers. Or palios.
I said clicky clackers. You all heard me. Don't cut that, Hannah. I called them clicky clackers.
I was close,
Thank
though.
you.
I knew I could see the word in my head. It's like, when you grow up reading a ton, and then you're like a kid who just reads a ton, but you don't like talk to people. So then you like know words, but you don't know how to say them. And then you grow up and you say this big word that you can picture in your head, and your dad goes, "That's not how you pronounce it, Lauren," and like shames you so that you never try to say the big words that you learned when you were 8 again. Do you ever feel like that all the time?
No, because I never shut the fuck up as a child, so everyone had to listen to me.
All right. Well, okay, fine. But I read a lot, and I like saw words but never heard them. And then attempting to pronounce them, I was shamed by the fact that I could not pronounce them. So I hope none of y'all shamed me just now while I work through pronouncing castanets. What?
You do sometimes say hypocrisy,
I do.
Which I think is so funny.
It's because
so
I'm
British.
Seeing the word hypocrite, and then I
think it's so cute. I never corrected. I'm like, leave it, you little British bitch. I don't care. How did you pronounce Hermione in your head?
I did Hermione. But you remember, my second grade teacher read the book to us.
Right. So we've been through this.
Yeah, she read Hermione.
Yeah. Okay.
She didn't read the entire book to us, but she would read like a chapter, and then our homework was to read the next. But how'd that bitch know? She looked, or she was a second grade teacher. She probably knew Greek literature. Like, she had to go to school.
That's true. We do have to know some random shit to teach the babies. You have no idea. It's weird. But they're like, be qualified.
With this thing that 7-year-olds will never learn, except when you read them Harry Potter. No. So,
True.
Came in handy.
It did. Now, for something completely different, Pirates of the Caribbean,
which Rachel said felt like a very November show. Post-Halloween.
It felt November-y.
It does,
yes.
And it feels post-Halloween. Like, like it's not Halloween, but it's like right after Halloween. Like,
it is.
You pick it up, and
I don't know if it's because of the first one being like a little spooky, and the rest are just pirate adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just feels, I don't know, feels orange and yellow and red in my head.
And with a little purple.
And a little purple.
Yeah.
Always a little purple.
I want to take a quick detour for all. This is an extremely important holiday. It's the 1-year anniversary of Dean and Cass telling each other that they love each other. I just want to acknowledge that publicly on our public forum. For those of you who aren't aware, it is happening. Please celebrate. Wear your blue and green. Learn to say...
Are you serious? I love this.
Yes. Learn to say I love you in Spanish. Don't ask me why.
I love it.
Not I love you, but you too, Cass. Or you
and I you, Cass.
And I you, yes. Yes.
Wow.
Te amo, Castiel.
Oh my God, it's so soon. It's Thursday?
No, it's Friday.
Okay.
At the time of filming, you can see our faces. At the time of recording this, it will be Friday, and at the time that this comes out, it will have been the past Friday.
Oh, I hope that you people in the past have celebrated it.
Yeah, I hope it was a holiday. Putin resigned this day.
Man,
Biden became president. But it all pales in comparison.
It really does. It really does. I don't even care.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I cared about. And for I still can't get over like that 2-week period that we were waiting for that versus the next episode. We just didn't know what was coming. I didn't eat I didn't sleep. I couldn't concentrate at work. I couldn't concentrate on this podcast, on my life. Nothing. It's all I could think about.
You know what? I'm not going to mention it now because I guess it's going to be our next episode, but that's going to be our 1 year.
That day?
Not the exact day,
right,
but it'll be like the closest.
So listen, it all just comes together beautifully.
Yeah, because we did our first episode the week of the finale because we we planned for it to be good.
Stop. I will never forget that I said, it's not like the show's going to like really disappoint us or anything, And you're like, yeah, come on. Oh.
I mean, we lived, right? We're still here.
Yeah, that's true. We still don't shut the hell up about
for it. Yeah, so they must have done something right. Anyway, that was just a detour. Back to the pirates that feel red and gold and yellow and orange. And
they feel fall.
They do.
Feels like fall.
You look like David. Or Alexis, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Both of them.
That's what I was going for. David.
Yeah.
That's my really, really white girl voice, yeah. Okay, so I gotta give a shout out to my husband on this episode because he will be on the Doctor Who episode that we.
You're not gonna let him do a cameo on this one? The show
is watching the
these
child.
Movies are his life.
He's watching our child. Now, George, I'm very sorry that you're not here for this one because today he was like, why didn't you ask me to be on this? I'm like, he's going to watch our kid. And he is obsessed with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Doctor Who?
She's sleeping over somewhere.
Wow,
so
plans were made.
I had to make the plans. So he's just very obsessed with it. Like when they came out on DVDs and stuff, he fell asleep watching them over and over again at night. Like obsessed. He's cosplayed Jack Sparrow at New York City Comic Con and just really looks like he does a really excellent job. Got a Jack Sparrow tattoo on his arm in the same spot that Johnny Depp has his, which thankfully he didn't have to remove because Johnny Depp ended up not being a giant piece of shit. It's great. But
he's only like a mild piece of shit.
I mean, listen, everyone's a mild piece of shit.
Like all men.
So, yeah, like all men. Thank you. Except you, George. So, Pirates of the Caribbean, he loves it so much. So, I had nice conversations with him about it before recording. And he got all of their houses correct when I asked him who these three were. Yeah, he's pretty good at it. I'm going to say why later. I think he didn't get them wrong.
Because you didn't shut up about it?
No. It's because he didn't choose one of the houses that he has a blind spot for.
Oh.
So I think they were all
both
pretty
of you?
obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been talking recently about what house my daughter might be in.
Mm-hmm.
We really, really think Slytherin, and then she's going to grow into Slytherin.
That's what you've told me since she was like 3.
I know.
So
And then when we had that conversation with Haley where she was describing a Slytherin, but she was like, no, Ravenclaw, no, Gryffindor. I keep thinking to myself, a Ravenclaw and a Gryffindor must make a Slytherin. So now I'm biased. But we'll see as she grows. She's got a little Slytherin in her. But who knows?
We should, when she turns 11, we should have a party.
We should
like a sorting party when she's 11.
Oh,
that's when we're allowed to sort her.
That's so cute. I love it.
She's gonna be like, "Oh, I hate this. Why are we doing this?" And be like, "This is the one birthday party that mommy gets to do for herself."
She's like, "Can I?" We were rewatching the Harry Potter movies recently, and she's like, "Can I watch this Harry Potter guy?" And I was like, "No, you're not gonna understand it."
I don't need you ruining it before.
No, she's not. She's just not ready for it yet. I don't want to see her giant basilisk and all this shit that's going to scare her.
I thought you were like afraid that she would watch it as a child and like not like it, and then you would never be able to like
that's
fix that. Like,
that fear is there.
Yeah.
I'm just constantly telling her like it's mommy's favorite thing. So if you love mommy, no.
This is what you were supposed to do with Supernatural. That's why we bought her the Dean doll.
Supernatural's too violent.
Really try. We didn't
I don't know how you people get your children. Like, I don't get it. She's just so uninterested, and I like don't blame her. There's nothing for her there. There's nothing. It's for us old bitches. Okay? Not for the children.
I'm excited to bring her to Cass. What the fuck you call me?
Yeah, she will dress up and enjoy the ambiance.
She's not gonna know what the fuck is going on.
It's okay. Talk to her about it before.
Bring her to stare at a strange man through the plastic.
This man is Santa Claus's helper.
He's an angel.
Yeah.
She's gonna have her stare at him through a plastic barrier. And,
Oh, good Lord. All right. So I got my shout outs. I did my talkie talk. Let's do our walkie walk.
Talkie talk. We did the talkie talk. We
sure
shot
did.
this bit.
Is that a saying?
Shoot the spit.
Shoot the spit?
Spit and silly.
Is that Southern?
Shoot the shit. I don't know.
Shoot the shit, Lauren.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you. Okay.
You can shoot the spit.
She's like,
We're
I don't
talking.
swear. I
We're
don't
talking.
swear.
So we're spitting.
She says pop instead of soda.
Oh my god, it is pop.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and the things that I wear on my shoes at gym class are gym shoes.
They're sneakers.
No, they're gym shoes.
What do you call a giant sandwich from a deli?
A Subway sandwich.
From a deli, honey, not a Subway sandwich place.
What?
From a deli.
Not
like
from,
from a deli.
not from a Subway. It's a Subway sandwich.
They exist.
Why do you think?
But you call the whole thing
Why do you
a
think
Subway sandwich?
Is called Subway?
No, but you go to them and you go, I would like to order a Subway sandwich. You say the whole thing.
No, it's a footlong. Or I want to order a Subway. Yeah.
That's so weird. Just say a sub or a hero.
Oh, I could say sub. I thought you were asking me for the name of what it is.
Like, I just said, how do you order?
I almost said hoagie. But
what? I love these. I love finding these online where they're like, oh, what region are you from? Let's see. How do you say these?
Yeah,
things?
they always get me because Chicagoland area and like a tiny corner of Cincinnati is the only place that calls gym shoes. Everybody else is sneakers or tennis shoes.
They get me because they're like, do you say y'all or yous? And I say yous guys all the time. It's really bad. It's from my mother. Yous! What
guys?
are you doing over there? Yous guys. What are yous? A bunch of wise guys? All right. Who are we doing first?
I don't.
Yeah. Who's your favorite out of the trio? Elizabeth Swan. All right, so we'll start with
No, I
Miss
don't want
Liz.
to start with Elizabeth.
Why?
We should start with Will.
Oh, the easy one. Fine. Let's start with Will. Great. Fantastic. I can't wait for this. Okay, Haley, if you're listening.
Freak out over.
Our good friend Haley.
She can stop listening if she's really that mad about it.
Yeah, Haley, we're just going to get it out of the way, okay? So I apologize in advance. Haley said to us, if you don't put him in Hufflepuff, you're wrong. Right? Did I misquote her?
I think she said if you don't put him in the house.
Uh-huh.
That I think, and then we just knew what house she meant.
No, I think she said Hufflepuff. But
Did she?
Regardless, we came to the conclusion that she put him in Hufflepuff. So I can't even begin to see that. I'm so sorry. I love you very much, Haley, but I can't. The only child of Bootstrap Bill, Will Turner, comes onto the scene. No, I'm kidding. I have nothing in front of me. I have not.
Wow, I thought you were reading that.
No. All right. So Will is a blacksmith at the beginning of the series. First, actually, we see him get rescued. He was drowning in the sea. And he's got the medallion on him. And then they're like, fuck all that. And then they show you him older. And he's a blacksmith. And he's trained to fight pirates because pirates bad. And he thinks his father was this, like, wonderful, good man. My father was a good man. And he's in love, like, huge simpery for Elizabeth Swan.
Mm-hmm.
And he's amazing. He's an amazing swordsmith. Like, he actually really is. He's fantastic with the sword. He's great at building them. He's great at wielding them. He later teaches Elizabeth how to use them. And, like, you can't get a better teacher because he's fantastic. But he's very, very, very much a wannabe hero, savior of all. I must do the right thing. Gryffindor. Like, it's textbook. It's Google the traits of a Gryffindor, and it's what comes up. And I know sometimes that's frustrating because it's like, well, you went with the obvious choice. Sometimes people are obvious. Will, you poor dumb bastard, you don't have an ounce of depth to you. You're a sweetie pie. You want to do the right thing. He's I believe in true love, and the good ones win over the bad ones all the time.
He gets fished out of the ocean by this like girl, and he's like, that's the one I'm going to love for the rest of my life.
And then doesn't pursue her because I'm just a lowly blacksmith and she'll never want me. Do you remember?
Swan.
It's like
Miss Swan.
And she gets so annoyed at him. She's like, we've been friends for so fucking long. You are so annoying. He's like, my lady, I apologize. Prithee, please. Like, shut up. I can't. But so he, it's so funny because so many Gryffindor things also happen to him. Like, I can see happening to other Gryffindors. Like, he catches Jack. It's him. He gets no credit for it, and he doesn't ask for credit for it.
To be fair, he does a little.
It's come on,
It's
not
only
really.
he does. What the fuck's his name?
When it happens, though,
Nottingham.
I think the
His
drunk
name's-
boss.
He's not the sheriff of Nottingham. He's the
Beckett?
fucking no, the one that she was going to marry, Elizabeth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Her
Norrington.
Norrington.
No, because remember, nobody thinks he's making the swords. Like when he hands it over to the governor. He's like,
no. Later he does.
No. And Norrington's like a man who makes the like he acknowledges that it's all been Will. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Will isn't like immediately like, this drunk asshole didn't do anything. It was me for like an hour up here fighting this friggin' pirate. So, but that is his goal, right? Like his whole goal is doing the right thing at all times. He has the strongest moral compass of anyone in the movies. He has a very, very clear sense of right and wrong. And he can't see past that until he's forced to. So when he's forced to...
I was dying with Rachel that, like, Jack shows up and he's like, I hate pirates. Like, I'm going to kill you just because you're a pirate. Like, a pirate killed my father. He's, like, going so hard at this random stranger that, like, hasn't really done anything. You know, and it's just, and he's just like, and he's like, pirates bad. Like, it's literally, like, Jack is, you know, chattering away as Jack does and having this entire conversation with him. Like, Will's, he's like, why are you so good at sword fighting? And Will's literally like, I practice for 3 hours every day so I can kill pirates. Like, this man.
I literally put myself through physical torture every day in case I meet a pirate because one killed my father, and now I've based my entire personality on that. Gryffindor. Like, come on. One life event, whole life is based on it.
He doesn't even remember.
No, not at all. So when he's forced to realize, like, Jack actually is not completely a bad person. He does sometimes come to the rescue. He does sometimes go to bat for people and sometimes do the right thing. He's like, oh shit, you're not all completely evil, huh? Well, I guess I'll die with you then. Hang me too at the end of the first Pirates. Like, he straight up, like, goes full pirate. So it's a little Jack, but it's also a little bit of he's forced to understand and accept that his father was a pirate and a good man. He's both. And that was tough for little William.
Was it?
Well, at first.
I feel like
because he's
quickly,
like, pirates are bad and they're evil.
Yeah, but I feel like he really quickly, and this is so funny too, because Jack takes advantage of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, he sees it in him that he's like, if I introduce this poor sucker to his dad, you know?
It's that. It's also.
It's coming
this
up
is the thing,
for me.
And we'll get to it with Jack. But Jack always has a little bit of, I feel like, a little bit of sincerity mixed with the manipulation, and he is a little sincere about Bootstrap. He does really respect him.
No. He does genuinely like Bootstrap, but when he introduces Will to him, it's immediately to trick Will onto staying on the ship.
He can
on Davy Jones'
the
ship.
Gryffindor daddy issues a mile away in this one. And it's not even like you have to. He's the type of Gryffindor where you don't have to dig very deep for the trauma or for like what's motivating
it's
them.
Right there.
It's right
He's
there.
He's so
it's
surface level. He's like screaming it at you. He's like,
he is.
I'm on this planet to kill pirates, and then it's like, now I'm on this planet to save my dad. Like, it's just...
And everything is so goddamn dramatic. Even the way, like, he proposes to her in the third movie when he's like, will you marry me? And she's like, is now the best time?
Right.
Like, no, it's not, Will. You don't need to do this right now. You're being ridiculous. Like, what? Come on.
Right.
And then how he confesses, like, she knows the whole time he's in love with her. And she's like, I got you wrapped around my finger. And finally, he says it, like, at a moment where she wasn't expecting it. And you're like, God, you dramatic ass. so living for the drama this one.
He does the coins.
Yeah.
That was very dramatic.
What about when Jack is like,
Barbosa.
He's no one. He's my cousin. He's a eunuch too. He's weird. Like whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, I am the son of Bootstrap Bill Turner. His blood runs through my veins.
Yes.
You didn't need to say all that, bro. Come on. And then, I told Lauren, I did the rewatch before Lauren, and I was screaming my decisions at her, and I was like, if anyone disagrees, I'm gonna freak out, because this conversation with his father, when he gets to his father in the second movie, it's ridiculous. He's like, he does not know this man at all. All he's heard is, he's good. He is good. We like him. He's a good pirate. And now he's suffering. And he's literally like, I'll save you, father. And that's it. That's his goal. That's it. Save Elizabeth, save dad. That's all that's driving him. All the time. It's crazy. Have other goals. Have other...
Want other things for yourself.
Come on. He's
No,
like,
you're right. He literally.
He's like, no, Jack, I'm not obsessed with treasure. And Jack's like, I don't mean physical gold and silver, dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, your treasure is the girl.
Yeah.
He's like,
no.
oh.
Yeah. He literally, he like does not like want anything for himself unless you count Elizabeth for himself. But he's fine to sit there simping while she's like, I'm going to marry Norrington. So
Can we talk about how at the end of the second movie, he sees her make out with Jack.
Yes!
And doesn't say anything. Sits there wallowing.
In the third movie, he's like, I feel like she confronts him where she's like, what's the deal? Like, what's up? Like, I obviously know that you know all the shit. And he's like, well, I thought you loved him. She's like, are you fucking stupid? Like, what the fuck is your problem?
And he doesn't fight for anything. He's just like, well, if it'll make her happy, fine. He does get a little bitchy with her in that movie, don't get me wrong. Like, he's annoyed because he does want them to be equals. He shows his annoyance, but it's the way a Gryffindor shows their annoyance with someone like that they don't want to lose. He's just bitchy enough. Just bitchy enough. But he doesn't come out and say, like, I saw you tongue him.
Yeah.
I saw you straight up make out with him. And then you came back and you're like, I want to save him. So, like, you're in love with him. But
definitely
you don't confront your fiancé.
Left side of the scale silently suffering over
Edward Cullen as bitch.
Bucky
I
Barnes.
can't believe it. Oh my god, he so reminded me of Edward Cullen.
Yeah, Wanda Maximoff. Yeah, like no.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Logan Echolls or Tony Stark seeing somebody?
I can see
else?
now. Hold on, I can see Tony doing it with Pepper though, but it would
no, but he would be so
much
self-destructive.
angrier and,
he would be like in the second Iron Man when he's in the Iron Man suit shooting civilians. Like that's what
and like Simon letting Daphne do it, and like I can see them all. Like even if Dean saw they'd let them. But then they would rage. They would rage of, like you said, self-destructive ways.
Yeah.
Whereas the left side ones, as we call them, the Edwards, the Bucky Barnes, the Wandas, they're just like, oh, if that's what they want.
I'm just going to, like, turn this, like, self-destructiveness all internally. Like, none of it's going to be external.
It's not external.
I'm just going to rip myself apart. Yeah.
That's insane. It's insane how well they fit into these. It's insane. And it's all parental. So, like, do you see, again, and you said left side, right?
Yeah.
Loves his dad. Do you see how the left side Gryffindors love their daddies? I'm telling you. I don't know what it is. So, he's actually, like, fairly well-adjusted. Like, he has a career. He has a life. He has a goal. He wants to have a wife. But he's also just very willing to throw it all away to shepherd the dead souls forever to see his wife once every 10 years.
An adventure, right? To, like, be a pirate. But that's the thing, too. Like, Elizabeth's coming with him. Like, she's like, I'm doing it with him. Yeah, he, like, very easily goes from, pirates are bad. Like, Jack points this out to him. He's like, wasn't that hard for you to, like, turn to piracy or whatever? And
he can't stand the hypocrisy. He can't stand it.
He can't, but he does it. He's like, it's not like a Ravenclaw where he, like, Will's like, I still have the same morals, just, like, I'm not
I'm sorry. I meant Jack can't stand the hypocrisy of Will. So he, pokes at it all the time. He's like,
No. But Will's like, I have the exact same morals. I'm just never going to mention this one again.
Yep. Oh, my God. He's such a ridiculous character. It's so surface level. You literally, there's nothing like, this is the kind of Gryffindor I'd get bored with. I would. There's nothing to discover, to peel back. There's no, like, what's going on, man? He's not like, suffering in silence. He's just suffering all the time.
And there's, like, nothing to fix either. Because you're like, you just got to figure yourself. Yeah, like, well, like, but he just does whatever you, like, you can shape him into whatever you want. He is. Yeah, I was just thinking, Will wasn't a part of this conversation at all, but it was about Will when Bill is, like, succumbing to the curse, and he's, like, actually melding into the ship, and he's talking to Elizabeth, and he's like, oh, he's not going to come for me. Like, why would he come for me when he has you? Like, obviously, he's going to save you. Like, it's between me and you, and it's going to be you. And Elizabeth's, like, not saying anything. And it's so interesting because I think it's so interesting. I think Elizabeth knows that Will might pick her, but I also think she's sitting there like, he's going to pick this fucking guy. Like, she's like, if I said something, I could probably get him to walk away. But she's like, but if I say nothing, and that's what she does, she's like, he's going to pick this fucking, you know? Like,
yeah. She knows, though, that she's got him. She, I think probably the only time she was worried is in that movie where they're fighting in the third one, because then he's actually showing some kind of negative feeling towards her where it's never been that. She's never been on the receiving end of it.
Well, yeah, and that's when she's like, what the fuck? And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, you love Jack. And
it's the only time you see her get a little worried about Will, because otherwise there's nothing to worry about with him. And even then, there's nothing to worry about with Will. He's going to go do his job every 10 years. He's going to come back, knock you up. And then, okay, confession time. I started the 6th one, I think, or the 5th.
The 5th one. There's only 5.
Okay, right, I started the 5th one, and I didn't finish it. And then George was telling me his son breaks the curse at the end of it. So Will comes back.
I've literally never seen the 5th one. I remember all the rumors that they were like, Orlando Bloom's going to be in it, and then I never saw it. But they were getting
slowly, they weren't holding my interest anymore past a certain point, and I just never watched it. And even this one, I was trying to watch it, and I was so bored. But yeah, he comes back and breaks the curse, which is amazing. And Elizabeth comes back at the end of that one too. So it's done. He does it for 2 decades, though, I believe.
Okay. So they're in their they 50s, missed 20 40s years. Or 50s or something, yeah. Although, does he grow older? He doesn't get older.
I think so.
Does he?
So. They both looked the same when I Googled it. I was like, are you serious? And I Googled and they look exactly the same as
I don't think he gets older. So that would be an issue, too. Like, he can't get older. He's ferrying dead souls.
Well, then she's a cougar and it's So I was just really happy to hear that, because my complaint about the Pirates movies have always been because of Will. Because of Will's decision to be a stupid Gryffindor asshole and he ruins their lives. I'm sorry.
You know how he dies too, and it's like, this is just like a random tangent or whatever, but he dies and he's like all gross looking, and then he pops up from the water in that fucking V-neck black shirt and the black bandana, and you're like, who the fuck is this Dread Roberts looking? Yeah, it's really hot. But like, he changed his clothes down in the underworld before he pops back up.
Dirty pirates, man. It's so sexy. Yeah, I know, it's funny. Like, rugged Will? Who are you? So that was always my complaint. It's always centered around Will. I didn't like Will. Like, I the Gryffindor.
You didn't like him?
No, I did not like him. He's too Gryffindor for me. It's too surface level.
This is the problem that I have with some Slytherins. It's like when you know why they did everything, but you wouldn't do it that way.
Exactly.
So you're like...
It's exactly
that. You understand exactly, but that's not how you would have responded.
I am full stop. I'm like a Han Solo type of Gryffindor, okay? So you put Han next to Will, and I would just be looking at him like, you fucking fool. You show them you show them the truth? Like, I can't. I hate it. So, I'm just really happy that was resolved, and I didn't want to go the whole episode without saying it, because I've been shit-talking it my whole life.
I think we shit-talked it in the last episode. Like, we were complaining about it.
Well, because he goes into this decision, this is a Gryffindor thing. He doesn't know his father, and he's like, I have to save him. And yes, okay, Jack does take his hand and stab the heart. So it is on Jack, right? That it happens.
Yeah, but
Will wants this.
Yeah, but he also went up against Davy Jones, like, knowing what was going to, right? Yeah,
he was willing to take it on.
Yeah.
Like, all to save Daddy. My wife will keep my heart literally safe.
He did it in the fucking dice game. Yep. And then his dad had to come and be like, you fucking idiot. Like, I have to make worse bets than you.
It's like, I always keep my Hold on. Can we also talk about the fact that his dad whipped the fuck out of him on the ship? And yes, his dad did it to, like, save him from it being worse. And Will's like, oh, so you just, like, beat me? That's just cool. And he's like, I did it to spare you. And he's like, oh, well, thank you, Daddy. That's, like, so nice. I love you again. He's ridiculous. I can't stand him, actually. He's very sweet.
None of the, why'd you leave me and Mom? It's just like...
Nope. Pirates can be good men. I can be good men. Like my Orlando Bloom.
That was great.
I think it's not terrible, actually.
No, it was pretty good.
Should I show you my Keira Knightley?
Was that your Keira Knightley?
No. You have to talk through your teeth.
You
talk like Keira Knightley.
You do. She talks very deliberately.
She talks very deliberately. So beautiful. Shall we talk about her?
Oh my God, yes. My awakening that I didn't realize was an awakening at the time. Yeah, I didn't. Everybody always has on social media. They're like, this is the they saw a Xena warrior princess or like Buffy or something. And they're like, this was it. This is where I should have realized. And I was like, I don't know who the hell it was. And then I saw a post one day that was like, Elizabeth Swan and all her like Regency corset wear, and then also her in the pirate shit. And there's like,
So
get you a
good.
woman that you can do both. And I was like, oh,
Ding dong.
this was it. I was like, got it.
Yeah, who could blame you? Who can blame you? She's
I just want to know that we talked about Will for like 15 minutes. Like, there's really not
okay
much.
because it's like if you listen to our Hocus Pocus episode, how much can you say about characters who are surface level?
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy to talk about, and also their movies.
We should have brought Haley in just to argue, so we'd have something.
I know. She'd fold. Haley, you'd fold, right?
I'm trying to imagine her arguments. The pirates become Will's community?
Okay. Yeah, sure. He wants to belong to a community. He needs to be useful to Elizabeth, certainly. He needs a purpose. He is a very hard worker, very work-oriented, loyal to a fault.
He wasn't trying to be useful to Elizabeth, though. He just wanted her to...
No, but I'm saying in an argument she would...
No, okay, but that's my counter. He wasn't trying to be useful. He just wanted her to notice him,
I got offended. I was like...
anything. No. She's like, I don't think that shit. No. And I was also thinking, like, he didn't really care about not being a part of a community on the island. He was just like,
yeah,
Elizabeth, look
it's
at
true.
me. Like,
yeah.
He would live the rest of his life.
He just wants to belong to her.
Yeah.
That's it. And daddy. I love my daddy.
Well, once he realizes daddy's alive,
yeah.
Right.
Look, he's too obvious to go. Like, is there anything else to say? Truly.
I don't know. He obviously like immediately has loyalty towards Jack, but I don't see. It's like, they're different flavors. It's
right.
Gryffindor flavored loyalty. It's not Hufflepuff flavored loyalty.
No.
Like, it's not.
It doesn't have a single condition. I think Hufflepuff's loyalties have conditions. Like, if you fuck up, you lose them.
I would agree with that, because Hufflepuffs are all about serving a larger community. And I was actually, this is so interesting. I was talking to Bree about this earlier, because she was asking me, I was like trying to explain that Slytherins and Gryffindors are singular-based people, and Hufflepuffs and Ravenclaws are multiple-based people. I was like, so Hufflepuffs can still have favorites, but even if they favor somebody in the community and they do what's best for that one person, they drag the rest of the community with it. Gryffindor morality is singular. It applies person by person. It doesn't apply to groups of people.
That is true. Because I can tell, like, just...
And Will doesn't other anybody. Everybody.
No. And we don't tend to. We're very, like...
You've said before, like, you're very forgiving. Like, even Barbossa, he's, like,
extremely forgiving, to the point where it's, like, when I see people getting canceled, or, like people doing really shitty things, I have a really hard time, and I have to do... you have to do the work to wake up and realize, like, oh, this person's shitty. They don't deserve a certain aspect of your loyalty. And it's not just people getting canceled, like cancel culture, like people in my own life who have fucked me over and whatever. It's just they get chance after chance after chance. And it's very hard for me to not give that. And I very much see that in Will.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference between Hufflepuff and
It's not like he, like, I don't even know if he necessarily forgives Barbossa or Norrington or Davy Jones or whatever, but he just like continues to work with them without being like a bitch, because
like, you don't need to.
Yeah,
it's Gryffindors do a lot of rug sweeping.
I know. I was gonna say too, and it's like it's a different flavor than Slytherins, because Slytherins just like the emotions, like they don't give you the time of the day. Like, I need you for this one thing, and then immediately you're out of my attention again. And Will is still like collaboratively working with people.
Yeah, and you see it when he's like fighting with is it Norrington and Jack on the wheel?
Yeah.
Right, so they're all fighting, and he's like, it's very much like, no hard feelings. Like, I don't hate you guys. I just
like
need
when they're
this
doing
thing.
the three-way on the beach.
Exactly.
He's like, I just need the heart from my dad. Like, I will kill you, but I'll be sad about it. Like,
Yeah, it's very that. And yeah, it's a big distinction. Because I think you can lose a Hufflepuff a lot easier. You fuck up, especially like fuck up something important to them in the community. They very easily could be like, bye, you're a piece of shit now.
Othering, yeah.
Very hard for me. Very hard. But yeah, he's a Gryffindor. I can't, he says something. He says, no cause is lost if there's one fool left to fight for it.
Yeah, something like that.
You fucking Gryffindor. Shut up. Shut up.
I'll fight the whole world with my bare hands.
And they'll do it.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. And they'll die.
Get you a Gryffindor.
Yeah. They're
fun.
I'm surrounded by them. They're pretty good. He does, and I feel like he does have the "if I die, I die" attitude too. Like he doesn't know what the fuck he's jumping into. Doesn't know what the fuck.
His people can't die. Like his people that he's responsible for, they can't die.
No.
He'll really die. Like
no,
he won't. He would live and torture himself.
Is he? I'm trying to remember. He's still conscious when Jack helps him stab. Is he one of the people telling Jack, no, don't do it? I cannot remember.
No, I don't think so.
There are, because Jack was going to stab the heart. Like,
Jack
he was
wanted
thinking
immortality.
about it. Well, yeah, but he was thinking about it. And there was Elizabeth was concerned with him. I feel like there was somebody that was like.
But he doesn't have a problem with it inevitably. Like he's like, yeah, this makes sense. I save everyone. Yay.
No, I know, but I was saying I couldn't remember if Will actively was like, Jack, don't do it. As one
I don't remember that moment. Yeah.
I don't remember either. I remember Jack certainly having some internal issue with it.
Yeah, there's a conflict. I mean, well, okay, I'll leave you with this. Just look at how Will is dressed. Because he goes from a lowly blacksmith to the fanciest, bitchiest pirate I've ever seen. He's like, I'm a pirate now. Hang me. Look at the feather and everything with these like sexy boots with heels.
His goddamn like, sword throw that you can't get.
Yep. And Elizabeth is like, he's a pirate. And he's like, I am Elizabeth. I'm a pirate. Gryffindor. You've been sorted. All right. So, right. Elizabeth.
I think you should start doing that at the end of every person.
You've been sorted.
Yes.
Right.
Make
that's
that
sorted.
A sound clip. Sound like Ron Weasley.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. We don't have time to unpack that. Let's talk about Elizabeth Swan. Ooh,
this
nice
is not the Rachel episode. Elizabeth Swan. And you know what? It took me forever that I sat there watching Once Upon a Time. Like, why is Emma Swan so pleasing to me?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I never made that connection.
I just made it recently.
She loves pirates too.
She does. I was like, this has to be, because they're both Disney. I was like, this has to be.
Cute. That's a beautiful last name. Wow.
It is. I wish I had the last name Swan. And that's like, you know, Hook calls Emma Swan.
Does he?
Yeah.
I don't watch that show.
Well, I'm going to make you. Because we're doing an episode.
It's just, I don't know if there's anyone out there who will agree with me. When I hear Swan, I have Adam Sandler from Billy Madison in my head, where he's taking a bath and he's like, stop looking at me, Swan. I love Adam Sandler movies. Anywho. Do you even know what I'm talking about? No, probably not.
You do? I've seen Billy Madison.
The conditioner is better. It makes the hair smooth. Stop looking at me, Swan.
This is why are you so good at doing Adam Sandler? And then I'm like, you have Jack Black energy.
I can impersonate some people, okay? Some people.
Can you do Jack Black?
Come on, yeah. Yeah, I can do some Jack Black, yeah. It's just, I wish there was someone who was not him that has the energy that you will give it to me. You can tell me I have Adam Sandler energy.
Similar, but
I'll take that.
No, it's like it's got slightly different flavors.
No. Yeah, no, I teach my students exactly like his role in School of Rock.
Yeah.
I'm literally like all day. I can feel my co-teacher looking at me like this is how you talk. I'm like, come on, dude, let's go. Don't get all day, my man. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm Jack Black. Yeah, whatever. There's worse people, I guess.
I think Jack Black's a very good person.
Yeah,
have you
he
seen
does
his
TikToks in his,
yeah, yeah, he does.
It's great. He's wonderful.
Yeah, he's Captain America and Thor. Like, amazing.
Yeah, it's just like hearing that you're always going to be the idiot comedic relief with a heart. Like, thanks. Love that.
Listen, in The Holiday, he gets a really nice love story where he's like not even at all funny. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good in that. But he's not very Jack Black in that. So
no.
I don't know. Maybe it's something about the certain being raised on a certain kind of 90s humor, and then you like get whatever I am out of it. I don't know. A lot of weird shit has to happen to you to get to
Rocko's Modern Life and Angry Beavers. And did you ever watch any of that? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was told that when I was like 3 or 4 that Angry Beavers was my favorite show, and I was like, that's inappropriate. That was like a really inappropriate show.
I guess so.
Or like Ren and Stimpy. Like,
dude, Rocko's Modern Life was the most inappropriate of all of them.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. No, you're right. Ren and Stimpy was worse. Yeah. But Rocko's Modern Life had some shit. They were all pretty bad.
Yeah.
They were all pretty bad.
Dude, I wasn't watching the new, I still need to, the new Animaniacs, but I was watching like the old ones, and I was like, holy shit. Yeah. Or like even some of the stuff on Looney Tunes, I was like, oh my god.
They're straight up murdering each other.
Which I watched as a child and was like, I just internalized it, I guess.
Why did no one question why Professor X was, Professor whatever, the professor was making little girls in his fucking basement in Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah,
why are you making little girls? It's weird, bro.
The city utilized them so they didn't care.
All right, well, make some full-grown people. Psycho.
Thanks, CW.
That's gonna suck ass.
I wish that they had put out the original pilot. I was very excited.
Lauren, that script.
Did you read it?
Fuck.
I wanted to see it. We got way off topic here.
So I feel like, I don't know if you agree with me. I feel like everyone has a little bit of each house in them because we are also like, I don't know, so multi-layered and multifaceted. Like, I think you have a little bit of certain traits, right? And I think the only Ravenclaw thing I have, and this is the only Ravenclaw thing I have, is my need for information on a topic, even if I don't care about it. Mm-hmm. So like I will just ravenously devour all this ridiculous information. So yes, I read the script, and yes, it was fucking awful. So why would you say that?
I wanted to see it.
All right. Yeah, we've gotten way off topic. Elizabeth Swan.
Mm-hmm. Swan.
She's beautiful.
Not to be confused with Emma Swan.
No. Ooh, another E Swan, though. So
what do you mean another? That's the original one.
Swan.
That's the one that I first said.
I know, but I just thought you were making an extra do the last names, not that the first letters also.
No, I think they're like based. Emma was based on Elizabeth.
But I don't think they're very similar. I don't find them to be similar characters at all. So she starts
certain aspects and choices they make are similar, but
sure,
they're not in the same house. Spoiler, if you remember our Emma Swan episode. Yeah. No, okay, go ahead. She starts out.
Yeah, she starts out with rescuing Will. Well, she doesn't rescue him; they rescue him. But she does
rescue him. She's the one who's like there's a boy.
True, absolutely right. I'm saying she didn't physically do the labor. But yeah, it's because of her. So there's
a boy in the water.
Hold up. she takes that medallion. She's like, whoop.
Yeah.
Looks interesting.
She's like, pirates, mine now.
I know.
But she does say later that she didn't want the Navy to take him.
Yeah, you believe that?
Yeah.
That's all that it was?
Well, I believe that was her first thought, that she was like, she had just been told about pirates, and they were like, fuck pirates, and then...
But there's definitely a part of Elizabeth, and you see it because of what she becomes, that's like really intrigued by piracy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
By the whole lifestyle.
Yeah,
so she's
and
she
saw the fucking shit. But this boy
Yeah.
opens his eyes and goes, my name's Will Turner. And she's like, fuck no, I'm responsible for this water bottle. So she takes she takes the medallion because she wants him to be okay. And it's a pirate. Obviously, it's a pirate medallion.
And then, because her house can do this sometimes, shall we say her house?
Sure. We said
yeah. She's a Slytherin.
She's a
So
huge
as Slytherins are wont to do, she raises this little Gryffindor puppy and keeps him as a pet.
Yeah.
And there are Slytherins who do this, okay? Especially Slytherin.
And
Gryffindor
obviously
parents.
never had anything romantic with him.
No, but not with anyone else either. This is also another Slytherin thing. It's like, if I'm not all in, I'm not even bothering entertaining anything with you. So like Norrington, she's not interested. She's just not interested.
He's so much older than her.
Yes, he really truly is. It's
a political match, and she's like, well, Norrington loves her, but it would be a political match for her, and she's just like, I'm not into it.
No, she's not, and she wouldn't. She can't even fake it, and she doesn't want to. but she has an immediate connection with Will, and it carries over, and it really pisses her off when he can't be genuine. Like we mentioned before, when he said, Miss Swan, and she's like, can you just not, like
She's like, my name's Elizabeth, we've known each other 20 years. And he's
stop
like,
respecting
I'll
me
endeavor
so
to
much.
remember that, Miss Swan.
Stop respecting me immediately. So she's got this drive in her, this crazy drive, like the guts and the courage she's got to hide in that little cupboard and then go parlay.
Oh my God. Yes. And to know parlay is so smart too, right?
Yeah, she's
like, no, and
smart.
Elizabeth carries this with her. Like, she gets taken on the ship and they're like, they're like, you've done the parlay, so you like can't be hurt or blah, 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 or whatever. And they're like, what's your name? And she's like, Turner, because she's the governor's daughter. She's like, I'm not telling you my last name, which, like, how would she know that, she picked a servant's name or a blacksmith, like this random blacksmith they fished out of the water. She picked that name. Why would she think that? Like, that is, in her position, the smartest name. Also, how many people are named Turner? Anybody who
she's
had
doing
that,
it because of Will,
yeah, but also anybody who had that fucking occupation had the last name Turner, and they're like, it's because she had the fucking gold piece, but
and it just so happened they're looking for a Turner,
right. So,
but it is the smartest thing she could have done, even unknowingly. It was brilliant. So, but just from the jump, she's so goddamn strategic. She does not rush into anything half-cocked. Like, you can watch it. I don't know if it's how Keira Knightley plays her, but it's like all in the eyes that she assesses everything before she makes a physical move.
Yes.
Everything. She's not running in headfirst with the sword being a dumbass. That's why she feints to like get there to like.
I was gonna bring that up. Like the first time, it's actually her corset, but she does it twice more. She feints at the end of the first movie when Jack is escaping. And then this time it doesn't work, but when all three of them are fighting on the beach, she falls over. It does
work. It does work in the first one. It gets them all like off his ass.
In the first movie, but in the third one, when they're all fighting on the beach, she falls over and is like, the sun! And then,
oh my God, and is that not like the best picture of a Slytherin who like has lost? Like, because she played a card that has worked for her before, and she's like, all right, this is going to work. And she just tantrum, crosses her arms, sits in the ground, like, oh, you're so stupid.
And
like,
also, she's been playing these men the entire time, and finally their testosterone has gotten the best of them, and she's like, fucking really? Like,
She has no respect for any of them. Like, I truly believe that. She's like, you are all so dumb. It's sad how dumb you are. Let me take over. And they're like,
it really, and she's I was gonna say, like, I can't even follow whatever she does in the third movie. Like,
me neither.
I cannot follow it.
Me neither. It's just amazing. That's all I know.
That she becomes pirate king and like negotiates all that. I cannot follow it. I cannot understand.
I couldn't either.
She ends up where she wants, or or in the first movie when she's trying to get them to go after Will. This was very Slytherin. She's trying to get them to go after Will, and they're like, we're not going after Will. It's a waste of resources. He's like a blacksmith boy. Like, we're not doing it. And she's like, you have to. And finally, she's like, not even as a wedding gift. And Norrington's like, you'll really marry me to go after Will. And she's like, yeah, sure. And it's also so Slytherin. She would have married him. But she would have. But in that moment, she was like, my goal here is to get them to go after Will. So I will literally say anything, and then the consequences of what I say are just going to be figured out by me later. Like, if I reach a point later where I don't want to marry him, which she did, she got out of it because she was very obvious about the fact that she didn't love him and she loved Will. So,
and she doesn't, and this is also a Slytherin thing, she doesn't even have a little bit of sympathy for him after. He's like laying in pig shit, and she's just like, get up. That's enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, other houses would have sat there and been like, oh my God, what I did to this guy. Like, did I have some part in him being in pig shit right now? She's like, get up. I have to get to my husband.
Like,
I don't have time for this.
Like, why'd you do this?
She's like, well, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions, I guess. Like, she didn't have some part in some of it. Like, she is so interesting to watch because, again, she doesn't have respect for any of these guys. And I don't even think she has a lot of respect for Will.
No.
I really don't.
Like, it's what? That ending might have actually been good for them because I think she does get respect for him for the fact that he's doing this shit.
She might.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But she's a hero through and through. It's just a very different kind of hero where you kind of like, you you need a Slytherin on your team because
Mhm.
you need a logic house to weigh out to even out the scales if you have an emotion house with you, because they're running in head first, and the Slytherin and the Ravenclaw is like assessing everything all at once. They see every outcome all at once. And this is what she does constantly. And it doesn't
Yes.
look like it unless you're looking for it. It doesn't seem that way. It seems like it's all on the fly with her, where she just gets lucky. Like, no, she knows shit and she uses shit to her advantage. It's really smart. She reminds me a lot of Leia.
Yeah, she's
In Star
exactly
Wars.
like, are you kidding me? Leia
Yeah, a
kissing
lot.
Luke in front of
Yep.
Han and her kissing
Very
Jack. We
Leia.
haven't even talked about that. But we talked about it with Will, how Will thought of it. But they have
This is a big
they
Slytherin
have
moment.
they have the one boat left, and she doesn't say anything about what she's doing. Oh my god, I love this moment. So she goes and
It gives me anxiety.
well, first of all, her relationship with Jack is so good, and it is so exactly what a relationship between these two houses would be.
Oh, for sure.
It's just like fighting and sexual tension, but like not actually desiring each other.
It's like hate fucking, but really that's it.
But there's no fulfillment need. Like they don't need.
Nope.
It's literally all they want is the foreplay. They don't want it to finish.
It's not going to become enemies to lovers.
No, that's what I'm saying. They don't want it to finish. They want
Right.
to live in the foreplay always.
Right. They don't need more. They won't reach more.
No, that's all they need. So that's what they've been doing. And I think Jack has a lot of respect for Elizabeth, certainly more than he has for Will. He expects Elizabeth to get more done than Will is getting done.
I agree. Fully.
And she figures out that the Kraken is after Jack and not after the ship or the crew or whatever. So she gets and she gets Jack on the ship and kisses him to distract him and chains him to the ship and is like, this is what's like, I need to get away with Will. So like enjoy yourself. And then in the third movie, when everybody's like, you know, talking about how like Jack sacrificed or like blah 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 blah, and they're talking about it. You can literally tell the only way that she's at all guilty is because everybody else is sad. She's like, otherwise she does not.
I don't fully agree. I think she's a little guilty, a little.
No, I think she's like sad about losing Jack, but I don't think she feels guilt for getting away. And like, when Jack does come back, she's like not even like, I'm not gonna apologize. Like,
that's completely true.
Yeah,
she's not apologetic to his face back, and I think he respects her more for it.
And also, she's like, I came and fucking got you back. Like, what else do you want?
Right. Y'all are ridiculous. What a ridiculous.
She also, that reminds me that when she sees her dad, she's gonna go jump after her dad. Her dad is absolutely one of her people. She was gonna go jump after him. They had to like tie her down, hold her back.
It's one of those moments where Slytherin is overcome by an emotion that overrides the logic, which is like, so you don't see that a lot. You really don't. She was just straight up like, my father's dead, and I have this feeling in my chest, and I'm going to act on it, and you're not going to fucking stop me. And I think she felt
responsible because her dad was getting her out of prison.
Well, her father's in her circle, 100%. Well,
yes, yeah, absolutely.
So, and I think it's just her father and Will. I wouldn't put Jack in her circle. Like, he could die.
He's like knocking on the door. You know,
she wouldn't care. A lot of people say, like, a lot of people watch these movies and they think like they're in love with each other. Jack and Elizabeth.
No, it's like we just said. It's that living in foreplay, and it's like, and you're right. It's when they're around each other they need to do it, but if they're not around each other, they're totally fine. They're like fulfilled without each other,
right? And it's not like who will they, won't they? It's very like, get the fuck away from me. Get away from me. Like, but she does use it to her advantage. That Jack likes that kind of thing. Jack likes everything. All right. Yeah. So
I'm thinking about too in the third movie when she's fucking trapped on that merchant ship and she ties the dress up and like uses it as a ghost to get them to Tortuga or whatever. Smart. So smart. She's so smart.
I forgot that
and it's completely. Oh yeah, and she gets frustrated too because these stupid fucking men are trying to look at the dress out of the water, and she had spelled out Tortuga in flames. So she's like, what about the whole? She's so annoyed. She has
the whole thing with the rum on the beach the first time around.
I was about to talk because I told Rachel, I was like, this is the most Slytherin moment that I can see, is that so they get stuck on the island and Jack is like, this is how I got off the first time, and she's like, that's so fucking stupid, like that's not even good, it's just dumb fucking luck, like you didn't do anything. And then she's like, so it's hopeless, we're hopeless. And so she gets drunk with him, which is like very Slytherin.
She's not, she doesn't though. Like, I think she's faking it.
Do you think she's faking it?
Yeah, I think she's completely faking it.
Drunk.
No, I don't think so at all.
No, I think she genuinely got drunk. Because I think she reached a point where she was like, Like, she's been doing it and doing it and doing it, and now they're like, they got stuck on this island, and she's like, I don't know what to do. I think she generally got drunk because I think that's kind of what fueled her when she woke up in the morning, and she was like, I hate it.
I don't know. She gives him a look when he's not looking at her that's very, like, sober, and I'm gonna fuck you over. You're stupid. So I don't know. Could be a drunk Slytherin, I guess, but I never thought she was drunk.
I thought she was drunk, and I thought when she woke up the next morning, she was like, I never want to be like that again, where I'm like, there's nothing left to go for.
Right.
So she burns everything on the island, like everything. And Jack freaks out and is like, the rum and the food and the blah, blah, blah is all we had. And she's like, you fucking idiot. Everybody in the fucking Royal Navy is searching for me. Of course they're going to find me. I'm important. And,
right.
and he stomps off because he's mad about rum, and you can see the ship coming in the distance or whatever. And he's like, there's going to be no living with her after this.
Yeah.
It's just very understanding of what a Slytherin is.
He clocks her. He gets her.
Mm-hmm.
To him, even to him, he sees Will the same way we see Will. Little puppy.
Yeah.
Little puppy. You want to do everything right. So sweet. He has way more respect for Elizabeth and relates to her way more.
Mm-hmm.
He calls her a pirate. She's like...
He does. I was about to say, it's like, because currently rewatching Doctor Who, because we're going to do that episode next. And, like the Daleks, I can never tell if they're trying to insult people or compliment them, but they're like, you would think like a Dalek. And it's like, that's Will.
You would make a good Dalek.
Yeah, exactly. But Jack means it as a compliment. He's like, that's a very pirate love. And
Yeah, he does. Mm-hmm. He loves being a pirate. He loves pirates. He's like,
pirates
give you a higher compliment.
Yeah.
But he also knows it's going to bother her.
Well, yeah, that too.
Jack's strategic too with the way that he talks and the things that he says. But I do think Elizabeth is more deserving of respect in general from everybody than Will. So even her whole relationship with him,
I don't know. It's so funny how they both take on to being a pirate too, because Will's obviously just like, I'm so cool now, and is like jumping around. And I think Elizabeth really, like, she becomes the pirate king. I think she really takes it on as like a role, and she
takes it seriously.
Yeah, and is like, I'm a fucking pirate. Like, I'm gonna.
She's the brains. He's the brawn.
No,
that's it.
Yeah, no. But that's it too, right? Like when they're having the meeting of the seven and the brethren or whatever, and she's like, you have to fight. Like, pirates are gonna die. You have to fight. Obviously, this is what you do. And they're all like, blah, blah, blah. But then she's pirate king and she's telling them all to fight. And then they get out on the water and they, get to the point where Davy Jones' ship just went down. So it's the Black Pearl against the entire Royal Navy or whatever. And she's like, we're keeping piracy alive. So we're going to fight. Like, she takes it very seriously.
Well, she can't take when things don't work the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
So, like, even on the beach when she fake faints and it doesn't work, she doesn't like when you don't behave the way you are supposed to do, whether you're a pirate, whether you're an idiot man that she's manipulating. If something doesn't follow the book, Elizabeth freaks out. Like, she doesn't like it. She's like, what do you mean? Be pirates! Like, be better. Stop being stupid.
Yeah.
That's when you get the tantrums.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when things are... No, I like that you said she was very Leia, because I would put her in the Leia Natasha area.
Right there.
I feel very connected to her, and you said I was Natasha, so...
You're very Natasha. Very. Like, if you went through an intense trauma, you'd be exactly that. Like, to a T.
Let's hope not.
Oh, no, and you're very Elizabeth, too. I can see you handling a lot of things like Elizabeth.
Yay!
I don't know that you would... You have more of a conscience than her, though.
That's true.
You'd feel bad if you did that to Jack.
I would.
I think. So you're not quite all the way.
I'm more easily taken in, probably. I'm probably a little more open with my circle than Elizabeth is. Elizabeth was literally two people.
She's close.
She did not. Yeah. She did not
but
care.
She's the type of Slytherin where I think you can understand her reasoning for everything and would probably act very similarly. Oh, yeah. Like, maybe not exactly, but very similar.
She's so quick. Like, I'm just thinking when she ran in to hide in the closet or whatever, her maid was there, and she was like, go hide. They haven't seen you. Like, if you hide, they don't know you're here. Yeah,
full strategist would be great in wartime. Mm-hmm. Like, fantastic. So she's a fun character. She gets she used to get a lot of hate, and I don't know.
Did
if it's
she
just
really?
I don't know if it's that we were just kids at the time. I just remember
it's a men
misogynists
movie.
Are fucking gross, and yeah. But she's like the second best character in the movie because Jack's number one. So sorry. Love that psycho. So yeah, I can't make a make another argument. There's no, like, Gryffindor at all.
No, it's another Gryffindor Slytherin relationship.
And she's the type of Slytherin who needs a Gryffindor compass to tell her what's right and wrong.
And she needs that specific type of Gryffindor.
That one. Like it has to be that kind.
The puppy.
She can't do a Tony Stark Gryffindor.
She'd kill him.
Murder.
She'd murder him.
Yeah. She'd probably still love him, but it would be hard to make that work.
She wouldn't.
She needs a servant.
She wouldn't. This is so interesting too. But I guess Veronica's all the way on the right side of Slytherin. I was gonna say, like, Veronica handles Logan, and I don't think Elizabeth could. She would yell. She would scream right back, and Veronica. Veronica knows when to go with it.
The Gryffindor would have to break the Slytherin first.
Yeah,
that's what would have to happen for them to tolerate that kind of Gryffindor. That's how I feel. So it's just so much easier to get a broken Gryffindor. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Well, a right side Gryffindor would have to get under a Slytherin skin in some way. But you're saying
any first. Slytherin? Because I don't know. I don't think that.
No, a right side. I
don't think Logan broke Veronica. Veronica's on the right side.
I mean, breakthrough.
Oh.
Like they'd have to get under their skin. They'd have to.
Yeah, he rolls over and is like, "My daddy beats me," and you know.
You got to do something. Yeah, get in there because otherwise you're not worth their time. That's the kind of Slytherin we're dealing with here. She's lethal. She is. She'll kill them all.
But she's a left side Slytherin. And Veronica's a right side.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah. Oof.
She's I'm concerned with myself.
Sorry for the silence.
I bring everybody else into my problems.
Yeah.
We need to post those updates.
I know. We have a lot now. I'm very proud. We're very proud of these scales, people.
We are. Ravenclaw has more than 2 people on it.
Oh, my God. Let's keep adding to it. So, do you have any other points about Elizabeth?
We said
I think we made excellent points about her.
I do too.
She was funner to talk about than Will. So much funner to talk about. I can't. I was so bored of him. Stop being boring. I think, I don't know about you, I'm hardest on my own house.
Yeah.
I am.
I mean, the ones that I don't like, the ones that I love,
right,
I'm like, above all the rest, they're the greatest.
Yeah, if you ever fucking talk bad to me about Dean Winchester, I'm coming to your house and I'm going to find you. Never. I get offended on behalf of Gryffindors, and I'm kind of like, I understand why they're doing what they're doing, so don't come at us. But then one's like, well, I can't. They're so ridiculous. You get the Wills and the Edward Cullens and the Bucky Barneses, and I'm like, you're dumb and deserve to be made fun of. You really do. Sweetie pies, but still. So we've got, I'm so sorry, another Gryffindor Slytherin pairing. And I think that was Haley's thing too. She's like, I just didn't want another, like, it's always this. I'm like, I'm so sorry that we're so sexy and hot together. It's not our fault. Like,
we really are. We're like,
it's so good.
I would make that argument. Like, we're the media, it's just easy. It's just
There's
easy.
A reason it works.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's such a good dynamic. Whether they're right-siders or left-siders. And we're not talking about politics.
No.
We're talking about a scale.
We're talking about a scale that Rachel and I made and have copywritten.
I woke up one day and I can't do math and I don't have math brain. And I was like, Lauren, I had like a Stephanie Myers-esque dream about a scale of Gryffindors. And of course, it was only about I didn't think at all about the other 3 houses. And I'm like, there's a correlation between parentage and something else. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, a scale, a line.
No, I remember doing this because I was standing in line for my vaccine, and we made it while I was standing in line.
Yep. Too good. It just so happens that every other house exists on a scale too. It's wonderful. People are so delightfully predictable. Let's continue putting them in boxes. Jack Sparrow, you wouldn't think you could put him in a box, but I assure you can. I sometimes like to ask our listeners to take a moment right now. Picture Jack Sparrow. Okay, what house are you putting him in your head right now? Are you going to give him Gryffindor? He's brave. He's a pirate. He rushes into things, right? He sometimes makes some dumb moves. Are you going to put him in Hufflepuff because he loves the pirates so much and it's his community of people that he wants to belong to? Because that's true. That's true. Are you going to put him in Slytherin because he's so self-serving? So self-serving. Or are you going to put him in Ravenclaw? Because that's what he is. Because you're right. You put him in Ravenclaw. If you waited through all that and you were like, no, thank you. You're a very smart person. That man is a Gilderoy Lockhart. Okay, let me just put that out there. This dude, okay, so you gotta watch all the movie, whatever. I really like listened to Jack's story, okay? When he was a kid, I'm gonna say a kid, but he was really like 20s. He worked for the East Indian Trading Company. He actually did. He worked for them. And at one point, they told him to deliver a shipment of slaves. And he was like, fuck you. Absolutely not. He doesn't, in any capacity, believe in people being enslaved or tied down or slaves to anything or anyone. So he frees them, and that's how he gets branded as a pirate. It's over freedom. And I'm going to just say Jack's entire driving force and his, what do we call it, Lauren? The thing with Ravenclaws? I fucking forgot the word.
Truth?
His truth?
His system?
Yeah, sure. His system. That's the word. Thank you. His system is freedom. That's it for himself and for others, because this even carries over later. Someone makes mention to him of something. They want him to work there again, I think. And he says, people aren't cargo, mate. Like, you cannot treat people like they belong anywhere. Jack doesn't belong to anything but the sea. And he just wants the freedom to fucking explore it and do whatever he wants at all times. You're not getting Jack to settle down in any one place at any time. He needs to be out exploring always. Okay, so that's just one part. Because after I watched these movies, I messaged Lauren and I'm like, if you don't agree with me on the house that I think he is, I'm gonna lose my mind. And then weeks later, she just messaged me. She was like, if people don't put him in Ravenclaw, I'm gonna lose my shit. Like, because once it clicks, it's so obvious that it's actually hard for me right now to think of details
to go on
prove
record. It didn't need to click with me. She said Ravenclaw, and I was like, yeah. But then I was just like, actually,
no, yeah. But then you watched them, and you were like, no, absolutely.
No, and it was when he has this whole amazing opening sequence where he like is on the island, and he wants to take a ship because he wants to go after the Black Pearl. So he's just like walking around and like saunters right up to the two soldiers, and they're like, "Oh, this deck's restricted," and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know," and then like continues to walk past them or whatever, yeah. and they're like, "Oh, hey, mate, you can't go up there," and he like gets them into this whole conversation about like what is moral and what is right, and can I go on the ship, and like who owns the ship? I don't even remember the exact conversation.
He's just watching them
like that. No, but fucking, Elizabeth like faints and goes over the edge of the cliff or whatever and lands in the water, and so it shoots to Jack, who is still talking to these two men, and he's just like telling them a bar story about some adventure.
Just gone off on a full tangent.
Anybody who does not say he is a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's actually like, at this point, it feels like I would have to just recite all of the movies, because every move he makes is a Ravenclaw. Everything he does. Saving Elizabeth wasn't.
Yeah, he's like, he's like, are either one of you going to save her? And he's like, I can't swim. And he's like, fine, like I'll go do it.
And what am I going to get for it? My effects. He's so annoyed, and you see. Okay, this is the thing. Jack is very much comedic relief. Very much. It's how Johnny Depp plays him. It's why he's in the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean ride now. Like, he's a character. He is so goddamn smart that it's scary. And it comes out sometimes, like when he's talking very seriously to people. When he's in that jail cell, like the hottest scene.
Oh, okay.
This is like the hottest thing.
I was gonna say that was the big thing I got too. So it happens with the two men on the ship, and then he does it later with Barbossa. They're like, hey, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm going to go steal that ship. And they're like, don't lie to me. And he's like, I'm going to go steal that ship. And then they're like, I told you not to lie to me. And the other guy's like, I don't think he is. And he's like, well, why would you say that? Like, what, if we know what we're doing? And
why would I say that?
He's like, why would I say that? He's like, maybe I think, or he's like, maybe I know that if I said the truth, you wouldn't believe me and you'd think it was a lie anyway. And they were just staring at him. And he does it later with Barbossa when Barbossa's like, don't lie. And he's like, and he says something like, the most dangerous man is the one who tells the truth, or something like that, or like an honest man. He became very
always trusted, dishonest,
right? Something like that, and like I get I couldn't, like, he's a Ravenclaw, but it's like I couldn't get past like I couldn't get past pirates and their sense of honor too. Like that's just something all pirates have. But it's so interesting because we're going to do another pirate later, and the way that he treats honor is not Ravenclaw, but. No. the way that Jack does is very Ravenclaw.
Because he does have a code. There is a code.
Yes,
that
he follows the code. Yes. But then that's what he calls honor. It's not everybody's honor, but it's what Jack.
It's like Britta with her whole anarchy and need to rebel or whatever. Like any kind of assimilation to something would feel like a betrayal to her. Like to her understanding of the world, and I think it's the same for Jack with piracy. This is how he sees the world. He views the world through a lens of piracy.
Right.
So to not follow the code, to not be a good pirate, not a good man, a good pirate, it would be like living a lie to him.
Right.
So he's that kind of Ravenclaw. He's a Brita Ravenclaw, but I'm saying he's a Gilderoy Lockhart Ravenclaw also because
he's a Brita Ravenclaw. He's just a Ravenclaw.
No.
Like, that's all Ravenclaws.
But like I'm pulling from Harry Potter. He's very, very Lockhart because he makes up stories about all of the things he's done, all of his accomplishments.
No, that's how he got the reputation.
Strategic.
Yeah,
and that's how Lockhart got the reputation.
No, but it's like it's not totally his. He took advantage of it. Like he didn't go out there like Lockhart and start spreading these stories in order to get famous.
But he does have an ego too.
Yeah, but this is what happens like with pirates and sailors. He actually points this out. Somebody's like, the Black Pearl doesn't have any survivors, and he's like, well, then how the fuck do you know this story? Like you know, like he pokes the holes in it because he's like. He recognizes that he's using this and it's a little hypocritical, so he's going to point it out everywhere that he can. He's like, but it's also a little bit like a Slytherin that it's like, it's not my fault that you're this stupid. Like, he does it, it's just like these stories get exaggerated. He does it when fucking Gibbs is telling Will how he got off the island, that he tied the turtles together and like rode on their back or whatever, and Will's like, where'd he get the rope? And then Jack is there, and Jack is staring at them very seriously. And he looks mad, and Will's looking at him like, that's bullshit, right? And then he sells something so totally bullshit in the straightest fucking voice. He's like, I used my back hair, and I tied it all together. You know? And Will's like, maybe that's true?
Right, sure.
And they just keep going.
It's so funny the way Will also then like lives by a code, but lives by like his own code because Gryffindors have to live by their own morality. Whereas like a Ravenclaw, it very much has to be the lens, whatever it is, whatever like the color, the rose colored lenses over their glasses, the way they see everything. It's very hard to break that. You're not, and I don't think you're ever breaking Jack's. Like Jack is not movable.
I don't think Jack would ever see.
Never moving him. Go around him. He's not moving for you. All he wants is his ship, and all he wants is to be a captain of his ship.
Yeah. And
he just wants the pirate's life.
It's, oh my God, that's another moment too when Davy Jones is like, you know, the deal was 11 years as captain of your ship, and now I get your soul or whatever. And he's like, but I didn't have my ship like for 8 years. He's like, but you've been going around calling yourself captain. And Jack is like, damn it, you got me. Like that would be hypocritical.
Well, because he talks in riddles to everybody, and everyone else is always like, God. And then like this person didn't. But talk about a fucking Ravenclaw. He talks in riddles. He literally does all the time.
He does.
Every point he has to make is a goddamn riddle in and of itself. And you're sitting there like catching up for a second. You're like, that was good.
Jack's
like, imagine this person talking to you in real life.
No, and he's like, he's fucking smart too. Like we
don't
see how, but he gets the cannibal people to think he's
what
a
I was
god.
saying before when yes, exactly. Bon licky licky. When he was
and he learns their language,
he learned the language. Yeah, it's the Ravenclaw thing where it's like, oh my God, it's just gonna work out for them, right? Like it's just gonna work out for them. But you have to ask yourself why things just work out.
Well,
I
was gonna say we never mentioned that, but and we have said it before, but I don't think we shine enough of a spotlight on it.
Right?
They just learn everything. They just get skillful at everything so that they can pull it out at the most random fucking
when they
moment.
need to or when they feel like it. Yeah. Oh, they're so smart. But like I really like, and again, like just so I was saying with Keira Knightley before, I don't know if it's the way Johnny Depp plays him. He delivers these lines, these certain lines where you're like, oh, you can be serious, and you like can bring down the hammer. Like just very briefly in the jail cell with the pirates that are trying to get the dog to come to the bone, he's like, no matter how much you do that, they're not going to come. And he says it like deadpan. He looks at them like, you're fucking stupid. And it's funny because then he walks off like he's drunk and like with his hands in the air and his hair and everything. Like he's a ridiculous character, but he's smarter than everyone. Except maybe Elizabeth. I think they're on the same level.
Yeah.
I really do. He
Which
would've done that to her,
again,
too.
yes, this is a Slytherin Ravenclaw relationship, and we were so
God.
excited about it because I don't think
Yeah.
we've ever had one.
No, not.
I wanted to go back. You remember when we were talking about siblings last week and how they're never in the same house, and then we were like, we've never done siblings? Luke and Leia are one we missed that we didn't name, but they are also different houses.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've ever had a Ravenclaw Slytherin like community. Obviously, there are friendships, but this is a very interpersonal.
No, but look at Britta. But look at Britta and
Troy
and Britta and
Troy,
Jeff.
Oh, and Jeff.
Hate
Troy.
Fucking.
Also Troy.
That wasn't hate fucking. She tried to love him.
No, I know, but she tried to love him. I know. I was saying a Ravenclaw and a Slytherin, though.
Yeah, but he's a different kind of Slytherin.
Yeah, he is.
Like the kind of Slytherin,
he's a left side. Like,
yeah. Well, so they very much they just have a simmering, quiet respect for one another. Neither of them will say it out loud, ever, but it's there. They know it. All they gotta do is give each other a slight nod, so slight you blink and you miss it, and it's like, good, they respect me, good, as they should. That's all they need from each other. They don't need any more depth in the relationship. They need I feel like these two houses need confirmation of respect. Acknowledge that I am smart. Acknowledge me, and then we can move on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it would really bother Elizabeth if Jack didn't respect her.
Oh God,
I do.
She wouldn't be his friend.
No, it would really bug her.
She would be like, "Will, leave him." We're not.
And Jack would not be as interested in her at all if she wasn't so interesting and smart. He would just be like, "Okay, another fucking idiot that I can manipulate," and he will manipulate. I don't think he ever manipulates her though. Does he? Yeah, no, just everybody else all the time. And that's his whole thing.
I think the closest he comes to manipulating her is when he votes for her to be king. But then...
Well, also when she doesn't really know him that well yet, and she's like, I trusted you, and then she feels stupid for doing it. Pirate! Hello! Yeah, he doesn't really need much from anyone, by way of respect from other people, though. He really doesn't care what anybody thinks of him.
No, he lets all those women slap him. He lets Barbossa steal his ship so many times.
Yeah. Very if I deserve it, I deserve it. And I'll figure a way out of it. Whatever. He's not he's harps on it because he wants to get his thing back or whatever. But he's, that he would walk back onto that fucking island and try to woo these women after whatever he did to them.
Right.
That deserved a slap in the face. And he's just like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why I think this is so Ravenclaw too, but just the way he treats his hat feels very, I don't know why. Just he's always making people get his hat back, or he's got the fucking feud going on with the monkey.
Yeah.
The monkey's a disrespect thing. Its name's Jack and it annoys him. So
I also thought a pretty Ravenclaw thing was that he thinks the people, the pirates in the Black Pearl are off living a life of riches and they fucked him. And he doesn't really believe there's a curse. He doesn't, he needs to see it first. And then he does see it and immediately accepts it. He's like, so there was a curse all along. Interesting.
Yeah.
How do I play this?
And then he uses it to his advantage.
And then he uses it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, he's not, and he has Tia Dalma. He knows that there's magic in the world. He knows, but he still was just
That's what I was going to say too. I wonder if he knew or had some very strong suspicion that she was Calypso, the entire time. I feel like he did.
If any character would have, it would have been Jack.
I also don't know how you couldn't watch his hell sequence and not think he was a Ravenclaw.
Oh my God.
That he's imagining himself.
That's the inside of a Ravenclaw's brain. They gave you a little look into what it's like to be a Ravenclaw.
I can't remember if we've ever said this, but Rachel and I once had a conversation. I think it might have been on this podcast, where Rachel was like, you mean you imagine yourself and you talk to yourself when you have an argument? And I was like, yes, always. I was like, is that not how you do it? And she was like, no, it's absolutely not. I never imagine myself. I was like, that's how I have to argue. So weird. I only imagine one other of myself, like Sam Winchester or Bella Swan arguing with Edward, and
my God.
And a Ravenclaw absolutely would have multiple ones for each set of arguments, instead of going back and forth, it's take them down one by one.
He doesn't even realize he's like beating up on himself. Like, okay, something that's so interesting too, and I would love to talk about with Ravenclaws is when they have a little bit of a self-hatred. I think he has a little bit of it.
Oh yeah.
There's a little bit of it, like he slaps himself in like his dream world, his hell world.
Yeah.
He's like,
or like
you're fucking useless.
Or
when
he's on the ship and he does it again, he's not even in the underworld. He's got no excuse. And there's the one that like did the curse and is like in his brain or whatever. He's like, oh, I dropped my brain. He's like so disgusted by that one. He's like,
and they're all part of him.
Yeah.
So there's parts of himself that he doesn't like.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really interesting because Ravenclaws don't wear it. Like you won't be able to tell when there's a part of themselves.
No, because
unless they share that with you.
That's hypocrisy.
It is hypocrisy. It's like, I have to be the best me. Like, I'm constantly just trying to make myself smarter, better, more efficient, more useful. Why would I dislike myself?
If you're following a system and a truth that is above every other single one in the world, how can there be parts of yourself that you don't like?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So funny. I could get really dark for a second. Former emo kid here. Sirius XM was doing an emo radio night, and there's this band, Death Cab for Cutie, and they have a song called "I'll Follow You Into the Dark."
I love how you said there's this band. Like nobody knows.
I don't know what people know.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So whatever, the "I'll Follow You Into the Dark" song, and I was like, I've never really heard the lyrics before. Like I just didn't. I don't really. You
just like didn't listen to them.
So today he's like, "Oh, and someday you will die, and I'll be close behind." And I was talking to my Ravenclaw husband, and I'm like, "Did he just fucking say he's gonna kill himself after his wife like dies?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's gonna follow her over." And I'm like, "That's horrible." And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, would you die for me? Would you follow me?" And he's like, "No, I love myself." He's like, "Rachel, we have a kid. Like, what's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I just want someone to die for me."
Rachel's like suicidal ideation, like.
Yeah,
but it would be so totally romantic if you died.
No, but like initially, I was disgusted by it. I was like, "That's so stupid." And then I was like, "But wait, how much do you love me?"
How much do you love me?
And he's like, "Did you really just ask me that?" He's like, "No, I love living, and like I'll live in honor of you, and not date another woman because like you'll haunt me." And I'm like, "Correct." Good answer. So, Ravenclaws are so interesting, though, because he didn't even lie. He didn't bother. He didn't try.
He didn't even lie.
And they're not liars.
No.
They're just not liars.
That's also hypocritical.
They can't be anything but themselves all the time. They have an on switch. It's on all the time. Like, again, why do I keep thinking of Britta? When Britta gets a little, like, hit to her self-confidence and everyone's like, well, you Britted it. She gets, like, really down for a second, but it's brief. And she comes right back up. And it's the same thing with Jack. He gets hit.
Charlie
with this,
does it too.
Psychosis. Charlie does
Charlie's like the most extreme example because he goes from like zero, like he's living his Charlie life at like 96 or whatever, and then they get on him about like you suck, you clean the toilets or whatever, and he goes to zero, and he's at zero for 2 seconds before he's at 100, and he's like, I'm the fucking rat king, I own this bar.
I'm gonna be the best janitor in the world. But Jack, I'm gonna be the best pirate. He is the most pirate a pirate can be. He's the most pirate you can be. Look at him.
What is he? Is he the? I swear this is his line in the third one when they're like, all the pirates are going to be gone or whatever, and he's like, then I'll be the last pirate on Earth, mate. He's like, isn't that a good title?
Probably is him.
I feel like that was him. When they were like, ooh, like the Navy's going to take out the pirates, and that's why you have to help. And he's like, last pirate on Earth sounds like an awesome title. Yeah.
He does not need a crew. Like the crew is there to follow him and call him captain,
and to run the ship. Like he needs
to run
help.
the ship,
to
play the roles.
Yeah,
so he can be best pirate. That's all he cares about.
The closest thing he has to a friend, I think, is Gibbs.
What a terrible friendship! My God, he abandons his ass all the time. I'll find you later. Whatever. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Go to prison. Go to jail. Whatever. I don't care.
But that's very Ravenclaw, isn't it?
Very.
And it's like, I'll find you when I need you. I don't think about you otherwise. Like
that like soundbite from Breaking Bad of Jesse being like, he can't keep getting away with it. That's what it's like being friends with a Ravenclaw. They get away with fucking everything all the time because you're just like, you ridiculous, beautiful person with that brain. Like
you know what else? I'm sorry. You know what else is very Ravenclaw to me? When he couldn't, he fucking has a compass that points to what his heart most desires, and he couldn't get the compass to fucking work because he couldn't. Because his brain was saying, I want this, but his heart wasn't doing it, and he was getting so mad. He was so mad. He was like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And Tiana's making fun of him, like, how do you not know what you want, Jack Sparrow? And he's like...
Well, all he ever wants is his fucking freedom. So sometimes it's like, what do you want me to point to? The open sea? You're on it right now. Like, he doesn't... His goals are never like... They're never very complicated. Like, manipulate Davy Jones, get my life back, get the pearl. Like... And all of it, the end goal in all of it is freedom. Jack needs to be free. He needs other people to be free. He needs people to live truthfully. He calls out hypocrisy every time he sees it in everybody, even if it's the stupid, like, little guys that are standing there that he's going to manipulate with the coins. And, like, when Elizabeth falls, he needs everyone to see the truth in everything. And he does it, like, in a funny riddle way. But, like, he'll leave you thinking afterwards, like, holy shit, I just got, like, mind fucked by this dude, by this weird drunk dude. He's not drunk. He's fully awake. You need to become enlightened like him.
It's another level.
They are. Like, Ravenclaws could all be cult leaders. I'd follow them. I'll follow you into the dark.
They're the worst things.
Well, they could, though. Maybe Jesus Christ was real. Like, I love that dude. I'd follow him anyway. Are you seriously thinking about it right now?
Yes,
Are the wheels turning?
I genuinely am, because I've seen his MBTI that people think Jesus is, so now I'm thinking about it.
I think he might be a Ravenclaw. Anywho, let's not offend him.
Are you gonna talk about why George was able to sort of...
George got Jack immediately.
Yeah.
George was like, I would do all of that. That makes complete sense. And I'm like, you would do all that? He's like, yes, that literally every step he took was correct. Okay. And then he goes, Elizabeth is Slytherin, for sure. And he goes, well, not a Hufflepuff, right? And I'm like, no. He's like, okay, good, because I didn't think so. Like, he's a Gryffindor, right? Like, yeah. He immediately got all three because he can see Ravenclaw, Gryffindor, Slytherin. He can't see Hufflepuffs. He has the same blind spot as me. Maybe that's why we got married. I don't know. It's so funny if our kid is a Hufflepuff.
Me as a Hufflepuff.
It'd be hilarious. Like, we don't get you.
We don't understand.
Oh my God, like Matilda's parents. Like, honey, we don't understand you. You have to live with Miss Honey. We don't get it. Yeah, so no, I actually love that trio. Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Slytherin.
So do I.
Oh, so great. You're in for a real treat next time.
Yeah, next time is the Thanksgiving episode, which is why we're all gathering around the table. All 5 of us. Yeah, and you get to meet George for the first time. And Marty, Meg's husband. We're going to talk about Doctor Who.
First time I'm going to meet Marty.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I am interested to see the dynamic between George and Marty. They are both extreme Doctor Who fans and know a lot about it. And I'm
sure Marty knows more. If he watched Classic Who or whatever, George never did that.
Yes, I think he might have watched some of it. I dread them having different sorting opinions. Especially
Lauren, I don't think they're going to have any intense sorting opinions.
No?
I think they're going to leave that
Meg
part
has informed me. Well, Meg has informed me that she and Marty have no idea. Like, they're just going to say a house, which will make me upset because I have very strong opinions.
It's cool. George already agrees with my houses for them, so I'm good.
We're the same, so
yeah. Battle Royale. Let's go. But that'll be exciting. It's our first 5-person episode ever. God bless you, Hannah. Good luck. Godspeed. And we're really, really looking forward to it.
It's our first episode with men.
Oh my God, it is.
Yeah.
Wow, we're finally giving them some rights.
voices.
These might be the only 2 who deserve it. So
just for the night.
Yeah. Okay. That's going to be fun. I hope that you really enjoyed this episode because I very much enjoyed talking about it. I very much enjoyed talking about it.
I did too.
I love it.
It's at a reasonable time. People might actually listen to this one. Thanks, guys.
Hey, we have people who are consistently tuning in.
We do, really, and I love you. Great. And again, last week I said the thing about when you leave a review and it makes my heart all warm. I'll say it again. Leave a review. It makes my heart feel warm.
You know how hard it is to warm her heart, guys? It's really hard. All right. So let's wrap it up. We love you guys very, very much. Thank you for listening. As always, follow us at @sob_pod on Twitter and Instagram. Leave us a message. Leave us a tweet. What should we do for Christmas? We're still taking suggestions. Let's go. And we will catch you next time with Bye.
Bye.
I don't want to go.
Shut up.
Thank you for listening to Sort of Brilliant. If our sorting choices inspired any rage or excitement, we'd love to hear from you. We're open to feedback, suggestions for characters to sort, and solid counter-arguments with citations.
Never forget your citations. You can find us hanging out on Twitter and Instagram at @SOB_pod or shoot us an email at sortofbrilliant@gmail.com.
And since we're not above begging, please rate and subscribe to Sort of Brilliant on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please share our posts on social media. And if you're a Gryffindor, maybe you'll inspire sorting fights among your own friend group.
The theme music is Hot Shot by Scott Holmes. Can't wait to sort with you again next time. Bye!